Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, I wanted to share with you guys some updated analysis inside of Bitcoin because we have recently sold off. Over the weekend, we had a lot of downward price action, with Monday opening up with a big dip. A lot of people are wondering if this is actually the beginning of the bear market, if the cycle is already topped. And today I wanted to share with you guys a little schematic that shows what type of structure we're experiencing right now, why this market structure is generally more bullish than bearish, and why I'm still confident that the bottom is in and we're going to be seeing uptrending markets over the next couple months. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and join the Discord server of over 20,000 members are growing. This is where you're going to be able to congregate with the rest of my community. Links are provided for you in the description to go ahead and sign up for free. On top of that, if you're a new guy just getting into these markets, I also have a free ebook that's linked in the description that's going to teach you guys a lot of the ins and outs of trading and investing and doing it in the proper way to make the most money. So links are provided for you in the description for that. Download that. It's not going to cost you anything. And with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so to start off this video, I wanted to go through and talk about Bitcoin because as you guys can see, we are seeing another lower low that is beginning to form right now. And so a lot of people are really scared. To be honest, it's the most scared I've seen Twitter in a very, very long period of time. And what we're seeing is a lot of collaborated negative news, a lot of negative FUD that's coming out that is purposely pushing the prices lower. And we've actually seen, Michael Saylor for MicroStrategies. He actually had his nearly $500 million buy go through. I think the exact amount was like 489 million. And he got those Bitcoin at an average price of about 37K. And so Michael Saylor is still buying the dip. You have other institutions that are buying the dip. You don't see negative news coming out between China banning mining, between China doing all of this stuff, between, Tesla saying they're not going to accept Bitcoin, to Bill Gates saying that it's not environmentally friendly enough. These are all things that are happening at the perfect time to purposely drive prices lower. And what gives me confidence that the bull market is still very much intact is because of the negative news we see. You don't see a lot of negative news inside of a market unless there's people trying to buy that dip. What we saw in the last cycle was there was a ton of bullish news at the top of the cycle. Everybody was bullish. Everybody was speaking a lot of, FOMO. There was a ton of bullish sentiment in general, and you never heard anything negative. But what's funny to me is how we're seeing so much negative sentiment, so much negative news coming out during this sell-off, which makes me more confident that this is just a short-term correction. There's smart money that is actively trying to push the price lower so that they can buy more because they know what is coming, and this is not done yet. And so that's some thoughts that I've been having recently. Let's talk a little bit more in depth about what I'm seeing on the shorter time frames. Because in my opinion, guys, this is really nothing that we haven't seen in years past. In my opinion, as long as we continue to hold support here, then there's no real reason to get super bearish. And the thing is, guys, is we have these wicks all the way down here at, about 28K. This is still the low. And so this entire accumulation that we're seeing right now, notice how every single one of these swipes at the lows, immediately the prices get bounced back up. And so all the people that were shorting at these lows are getting wrecked. They're losing all their money and people are buying this dip. Now, this sell-off right here, there isn't any big wicks that are coming in here. This just looks like bearish continuation, which leads me to my next point in the video. And I wanted to share with you guys why I think that this price action actually reminds me of the similar price action we saw up here, just reversed. So when we come over here and actually take a look at this chart that I made in Photoshop, I saw this on Twitter and I tried to retweet it so I could actually save it on my Twitter. But I accidentally just ended up scrolling back to the homepage and I couldn't find the account that originally shared this. So if you guys actually do comment that below, I'd like to give them a shout out. But I saw somebody share this. All I remember is they had a green Pepe frog in their profile picture. So if you guys remember or see this on Twitter, let me know, please. But I saw somebody make this chart. And they were basically explaining that this entire structure that we're seeing right now inside of Bitcoin is literally just an accumulation schematic for a Wyckoff. Now, Wyckoff is something that we just saw on the upside. Remember when Bitcoin topped at 65K, kind of rounded out at the top, and then we had this big crash? Well, that was a similar type of price structure. The only difference is that was coming at the top of a trend, whereas this one's going to be happening at the bottom of a trend. And so pretty much what you guys need to understand here is this is how a Wyckoff spring actually develops. You have the first initial decline, you have the impulse waves back down, and then this is what begins the chop, right? Now, most people, whenever they see a market crash, they're going to be looking to trade a range from the highs to the lows. They're going to be looking to trade that channel of support and resistance. Now, inside of a schematic of a Wyckoff, the Wyckoff is designed to purposely shake out all of those people, the range traders. And so what we can see here is Bitcoin's been chopping back and forth, right? We have this resistance range up here, and we have this support range down here. Notice how we're following pretty much identically to this overall schematic of a Wyckoff. We hit the lows, we bounced, came back down, made another attempt at resistance, came back down, retested support, another attempt up here to break out a resistance, get stuffed. And now we're kind of in the phase C of this schematic where the final resistance here, we tagged this, and now we're kind of selling off for one more low. Now, generally speaking, what you'll see inside of this final move is just a little bit of selling. You're going to see some consistent selling as people are pretty much just getting out. You know, this is the point where usually with the Wyckoff, you're going to see it break support for the short term. So notice here how this is our support level, and then we kind of get this short term pierce below that. It's literally just a shakeout. And so I really think that we could be in the same sort of structure today inside of Bitcoin, where we've been consolidating inside of this range back and forth. We've been ranging at the resistance. We've been ranging at support, going back and forth between the two areas. And now, in my opinion, this is going to be kind of that last shakeout that really kind of bleeds us lower. We might have this short-term pierce below our support. And if that happens, you know, I think that a lot of people are going to get shaken out. A lot of people end up going to be panic selling. And most people are going to end up opening shorts at that level. And once again, guys, in the same way that we've seen up to this point, every single one of these attempts at support has been bought up. And so this is the one dip in which I think could actually go a little bit lower. Maybe we come all the way back down and tag this black line, which would be pretty much the wicks at this move here. This was the short-term correction that we saw here after the all-time highs around January. And that's what took us to our final rally on the upside. Now, in my opinion, we'll see something similar. We'll see one more dip back down. This final dip will be kind of the last shakeout before we get that spring-loaded bounce. And then we can continue up in this bull run. Because in my opinion, guys, this isn't over. This is nowhere close to being over quite yet. This is just the summer sell-off. A lot of people are calling for 20,000 per Bitcoin. A lot of people have been asking me if I think that that's likely. I'd say it's unlikely. I don't see why we would need to go all the way to retest the all-time highs. And in actuality, because we're seeing all of this collaborated FUD right now, a lot of negative news, a lot of negative sentiment, it really just gives me more confidence that the lows are in. If we do go a little bit lower, it will be short-lived. Because if there's a lot of big smart money that is telling you need to sell, seeing a lot of collaborative news, guys, they have to force you to sell so that they can be buying. There's somebody buying all of this fear right now. And it's not retail investors, because retail investors are the idiots that bought the top that are now selling all of their bags at a loss. Most people over the last recent while got in towards the top of this move. Retail investors, that's what happens. You get the first big push past the all-time highs, a ton of new people come in, a lot of new money comes in, and then you get this big shakeout. This shakeout, because of all of the negative news, makes me very confident that this is just that, a shakeout. It's nothing more, nothing less. And even if we do come back down for a little bit lower, you know, maybe we come down to 28K, it doesn't really change anything in the big picture. And so that's the biggest focus here. Now, one more chart before we finish up today's talk. Let's go take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, because we have a very important update to give you guys right here. So with the Bitcoin dominance, if you guys remember, this was pretty much the last chart that I left you guys with. And I said pretty much how this just looks a lot like the market structure we saw in the last cycle. So if we come over here, let's talk about what I mean. So this move here, once we made our first big push in the altcoins, Bitcoin dominance had this massive sell-off. And this was our first little impulse after, our first little relief rally after that big altcoin run. And in my opinion, this is pretty much what we're seeing today. We had this massive down push in the altcoins. Altcoin dominance went up a lot. And now we're seeing a bounce and a relief rally that should see us going upwards of about 50% at least. And we could go even higher than that. And so let's come in here and talk about some thoughts with the Bitcoin dominance, and let's see really where we're at and where I think we're going to be headed in the short term. Let's remove all of these drawing tools. Start clean here. So as you guys can see, this is just a classic bottom pattern. We got our low, we made a higher high, and now this is just continuation. In my opinion, this is going to break up higher, and we're going to see another rally on the upside. This is just going to be a short-term relief rally before altcoins go up much higher. But the real question is, where is this rally going to end? Where is this relief bounce going to end? And in my opinion, the first real target that we have is going to be here at about 50 cents, or 50%, I should say, about here, because we have a pretty major resistance here. Now, if we go up higher than that, the next target for me is going to be 52%, which will be about right here. And if we go higher than that, I do have a high-end target of about 57% approximately. So this is really where I would be targeting a bounce. Regardless, guys, whether we bounce and reject at 50 to 52 or whether we have a much bigger move inside of the Bitcoin dominance, it really doesn't change anything long term because this is in a big downtrend. So even if Bitcoin outperforms alts in the short term, what generally happens after a big correction anyways, Bitcoin will correct, altcoins will correct really hard. At the bottom of that correction, Bitcoin will start to impulse. Bitcoin will find its low. It'll start going up again, except the only thing that happens is altcoins usually don't do a whole lot as Bitcoin's going up. Altcoins usually won't do a whole lot until Bitcoin breaks out of the previous all-time high. And so we're going to have this period of time where we find the lows and we get an impulse off of those lows here at around 28K, or, pretty much where we're at 30K. Once we do get that impulse, I would expect in the short term that that's where we're ultimately going to see the Bitcoin dominance start to rise. Is in this next move, we will see Bitcoin start to find its bottom. We'll see it make its first impulse. And when that happens, we should see altcoins just kind of stagnate, not really do a whole lot. They'll go up a little bit with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin will be outperforming them in that time period. And so we're going to see exactly where the cycle is going to top, whether it's 50, 52, or whether we have a high-end target. Regardless, guys, I don't think it changes anything because once we do reject wherever that is, this is once again going to go for a brand new low. And in my opinion, the next low is going to be breaking the all-time low set at about 35% here back in January of 2018. And so, guys, you know my targets, 20. I'd say anywhere from about 25 to 15% dominance for Bitcoin. There's going to be a lot more profit to come inside of the altcoins. And so I wanted to give you guys this quick update just as a way to summarize some thoughts. A lot of people are bearish. A lot of people are calling for 20,000. In my opinion, this is perfectly what's going to happen right at a low. People are going to be calling for some really, really far downside targets. Kind of remind me of what happened here after the original top in 20K. We were here at 6K, and then we made this big sell-off. And when we were at 3,000 approximately, a lot of people were calling for $1,800. A lot of people were calling. And that was kind of just this big target, another big drop in the market. That drop never came, and that ended up being the bottom. In my opinion, this is very much the same thing. We got this massive sell-off. We're landing onto higher trending support on the higher time frames. And right when we're landing onto support, we start hearing people calling for 20,000, which is another 50% drop. Well, not 50%, but another big drop, right? And so with that being in mind, guys, I don't think that we're going to get that. I think the lows are in, whether we come down to 28K and make one more tiny low, it really doesn't change the big picture. Regardless, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm accumulating in this dip, not so much Bitcoin. I have a select few altcoins that I wanted to add to my position sizing. And so those are the ones I've been focusing on. Regardless, guys, I think the bottom's in. We're going to see Bitcoin dominance continue to trend up as Bitcoin starts to make its new impulses into the next cycle high that we're going to get. And altcoins should kind of stagnate. They'll start going up, but I don't really expect a whole lot out of the altcoins until we start hitting upwards of about 50 to 52% dominance here. That's what I'm going to watch out for. I'll keep you guys updated as follows. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys want to join the Discord, or if you guys want to download my free ebook, links are going to be provided for you in the description. Do that. If you guys want to sign up for my video course or signals, follow those trades that I take, copy my educational content to learn how to trade full time. Links are also provided for you in the description to go ahead and sign up for that on my website. Thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you guys so much for staying through this entire cycle. I know it's volatile. I know this bear market, the short-term correction that we're in right now can be very trying for the people that just got in. Understand that where this stacks up, yeah, it's going to be short-term volatility. Yeah, you might be holding on to some short-term losses, but I'm telling you guys, today's top is tomorrow's bottom, and this is the way it works if you have the patience to hold through. So thank you guys so much for watching, and with that being said, I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.